A major winter storm is rapidly shifting across the United States, setting the stage for a dangerous cold wave, widespread snow, and potentially life-disrupting conditions for millions of Americans. Even meteorologists are closely monitoring this evolving setup because it is not behaving like a typical winter pattern. Instead, it is showing signs of an extreme shift in the jet stream, allowing brutally cold Arctic air to surge deep into regions that normally do not experience this level of winter severity. Over the next 24 to 48 hours, this major winter storm is expected to strengthen further, expanding its reach and placing new states at risk as the system shifts its track, bringing heavy snowfall, blowing snow, whiteout conditions, and rapidly dropping temperature. Before starting, take a second to like this video, share it so more people stay safe and informed, and subscribe to the channel with the bell icon on, because the weather situation unfolding across the United States right now demands everyone's attention. So, let's get started with today's update. A powerful winter system is strengthening fast, with brutal cold air, heavy snow, and dangerous travel conditions lining up across multiple regions of the country. Meteorologists are warning that this system is not following the usual winter path. Instead, it is shifting at the last moment, pulling Arctic air deep into areas that normally avoid the worst of winter. States across the Midwest, Great Lakes, Northeast, and even parts of the South could soon feel the impact as temperatures plunge sharply, winds intensify, and snow bands expand wider than earlier forecasts suggested. In some locations, conditions could deteriorate within hours, not days. What makes this setup especially concerning is the speed at which everything is changing. New model runs show increasing confidence in heavy snowfall totals, flash freezing on roads, and the possibility of power outages due to ice and strong winds. Travel could become extremely dangerous, especially during the overnight and early morning hours, as visibility drops and road conditions worsen rapidly. Officials are urging residents to prepare now, not later. This means limiting unnecessary travel, keeping emergency supplies ready, and staying updated with the latest forecasts and warnings. If this system continues to intensify at its current pace, it could become one of the most disruptive winter events of the season for several parts of the United States. Something unusual is happening with the weather pattern over the United States, and the latest data is raising serious concerns. What was once expected to be a routine winter stretch is now evolving into a high-impact setup that could affect millions. Meteorologists are closely monitoring a rapidly strengthening system that is pulling in extreme cold air, while also fueling the potential for widespread snow and dangerous conditions. According to new forecast models, this winter system is gaining strength faster than expected. Arctic air is diving south, colliding with moist air from the Gulf, creating a perfect recipe for heavy snowfall, ice, and brutal wind chills. Large portions of the central U.S., Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast are now in the zone of concern, with impacts likely to spread even further as the system shifts. Temperatures could drop dramatically in a short period of time, leading to flash freeze conditions on roads and highways. Even areas that see rain first could quickly turn icy as colder air rushes in behind the storm. Power outages, flight delays, and major travel disruptions are becoming increasingly likely as confidence in this forecast grows. Right now, across the central and southern plains, freezing rain and sleet continue to be major concerns. Parts of Texas and Oklahoma are dealing with icy roadways, especially along major highways, where even light ice accumulation is making travel extremely dangerous. In many areas, rain is falling on surfaces that are already below freezing, creating black ice conditions that are nearly impossible to see, but extremely hazardous. As we move north and east into the Midwest, winter is fully in control. Snow has been falling heavily in several states, with accumulations continuing to build. Roads are snow-covered, visibility has been reduced, and travel conditions remain difficult to near impossible in some locations. Snowplows are struggling to keep up, especially as temperatures remain so cold that salt and other treatments become less effective. Now let's talk about the South, because this is where the situation becomes especially serious. States that do not typically experience severe winter weather are now facing dangerous ice storms. Freezing rain has coated trees, power lines, bridges, and roadways with ice. In these areas, even a small amount of ice can cause major problems, and in some locations, ice accumulation has become significant. Trees are bending under the weight, power lines are sagging, and power outages have already been reported. This is the kind of weather that can leave communities without electricity for days. As we head into the Tennessee Valley and parts of the Southeast, the forecast remains extremely concerning. A narrow but dangerous transition zone between snow, sleet, and freezing rain is setting up, and small changes in temperature will make a huge difference. Some cities may see heavy snow, while just a few miles away, others could be dealing with a crippling ice storm. Snowfall has already caused delays and cancellations across transportation networks, and the cold behind the storm is locking everything in place. Roads that might normally improve during the daytime are staying icy because temperatures are not rising above freezing. In the Northeast and New England, winter weather is delivering exactly what you would expect. Heavy snow, strong winds, and dangerously cold temperatures. Major cities are seeing accumulating snow, reduced visibility, and extremely cold wind chills. Even after the snow stops falling, the cold air remains, making cleanup difficult and keeping roads slick and hazardous. But one of the biggest stories with this pattern is not just the snow or ice, it's the cold. Arctic air is pouring south and refusing to move out. Temperatures in many parts of the country are running well below average, and this cold is expected to linger for several days, possibly longer. In some regions, overnight lows are dropping into the single digits or below zero, which is dangerous, especially if power outages occur. This prolonged cold is especially concerning in areas that are already dealing with ice damage. If power is lost, indoor temperatures can drop quickly, creating life-threatening conditions. This is why officials are urging people to check on elderly neighbors, make sure pets are indoors, and ensure that emergency supplies are ready. An exceptionally dangerous and volatile winter pattern is tightening its grip across the United States as relentless Arctic cold continues to reload near the North Pole and aggressively reinforce the upper-level circulation, driving wave after wave of freezing air deep into the eastern half of the country and shockingly far into the south, with Florida now firmly etched into the history books after experiencing one of its most extreme February cold events on record, where temperatures plunged into the lower 20s, shattering records that had stood for decades and in some cases more than a century, making it unmistakably clear that this is not a routine winter fluctuation, but a powerful Arctic invasion reaching the very end of the Florida peninsula. While short-term atmospheric changes will allow slightly warmer air to attempt a return across parts of Florida and the deep south, as the air mass slowly modifies and upper-level heights rise, the broader pattern remains hostile, with a deep trough locked over the Northeast, Great Lakes, and upper Midwest, ensuring that bitter cold persists and is repeatedly reinforced by fast-moving clipper systems that drag fresh Arctic air southward, especially if southern stream energy strengthens and storms begin forming out of the southwest or Gulf region, forcing the storm track well to the south under cold air, a classic setup that historically produces high-impact winter storms and dangerous runoff. In the short term, light but fast-moving snow will clip parts of the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, and upper Midwest, followed by renewed lake-effect snow and another surge of cold late in the week, keeping temperatures locked well below normal across the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic, where some locations are approaching record-long streaks below freezing, while farther south, areas that were paralyzed by rare snowfall and ice will gradually warm, though not without lingering risks as the next Arctic push approaches. Before you go, make sure to like this video so this warning reaches more people, share it with your family and friends, especially if they're anywhere along the East Coast, and subscribe to the channel with the bell icon on so you don't miss any urgent updates as this storm continues to evolve. Weather conditions can change fast, and we will bring you the latest information immediately if anything shifts. Stay alert, stay prepared, and we'll see you in the next update.